This is Lemon's Car Spotting. You post to Instagram with the hashtag Lemon's Car Spotting. We pick the hooptiest.
They are so incredibly terrible.
And which one we want to become a real Lemons build.
It does car-like things. I've been pushing for one of those in Lemons too, and those are very affordable.
And welcome to Lemon's Car Spotting. I am Eric Rude. That is Nick Pond. It's on one. It doesn't matter. Anyway, you know how this works. You spot crap on the street, tag it with Lemon's Car Spotting, and then we talk about it here and pick out the car that is the hooptiest and the one that we most want to see built for Lemons. And Nick will be the one choosing from our patented method. So when you're ready, Nick, all right, tell me when to stop.
Stop.
That's the Lemons build for Nick. It means I'm picking the hooptiest. Without further ado, let us get underway.
Oh, man. Somebody's beating the system.
That's
well, it's a ute of some sort, but what is that? Like the little, like, is it carrying that thing, or is that the panel, or is that part of the whole deal?
I think they have, oh man, the more you look at it, the roof and the B-pillar on the Mini are made out of diamond plate, it looks like.
Yeah.
I wonder if this was a convertible, like a full convertible that they added the flatbed that is also diamond plate.
Yeah, somebody in the comments suggested it might have been an ex-Red Bull car, which did the backs off of those.
Yeah, I mean, they did that, but I don't think those were red. I think they were the actual blue.
Yeah,
this is
I
a
think you're
factory
right.
color.
Yeah,
and then they would have just had to diamond plate over the existing roof, which isn't, it's probably contact paper or something. But man,
it almost looks like that the flatbed tray is either just a flatbed tray so you can put stuff on it,
right?
Or, I mean, it almost looks like one of those folding rooftop tents, like, for your overlanding Toyota. So I wonder if that just folds out and this dude is just, roaming the earth, camping in his mini truck convertible.
Yeah.
So,
definitely mini truck, and we've had a mini van on the Lemons rally. So
that's right.
Truck,
oh man, touch. Yeah. If you're not following the Lemons Rally account on Instagram, go check it out and find the mini van.
Flawless execution like this.
Flawless execution. Yeah, definitely. Well, that's pretty cool. Next up.
Speaking of vans.
Oh man. It's a wow. It's like it's the van for this radio station, which is both AM and FM, Power 105, which definitely plays Van Halen and whatnot. And then 970 WATH, which is probably Christian talk radio.
Yep. What? I love that the radio station is both in the background and boarded up.
I know. Well, this is just like the untouched, they closed the doors and walked out, left everything there as is, including the van.
Yeah. In 1994.
Yeah, although the one thing that betrays that is the fact that the American flag looks like it's in good shape. Yeah, like you figure if all of this stuff was abandoned, that the flag would have, tattered to bits long ago.
Man, what a time capsule of a photo. Well done.
Yeah. Now, this is the kind of abandoned scene you'd come across like in Stranger Things or something. Although you're right. I think the graphics look a little later. It looks a little more 90s than 80s.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, this is Athens, Ohio. So
it was 2009.
Yeah. 1994 came a little bit later.
That's true. All right. Next up. Oh, wow. It's an Audi 100. Is that what it is? Coupe?
I think so. Man, these cars basically don't exist.
They really don't. Boy, they don't exist where I am either. Wow, that's quite a thing. Great color,
Yeah.
especially with the two-tone. Boy, it looks like original hubcaps. And I mean, I think the problem with these is they were just fundamentally not good cars, and they stopped
Right.
running,
Right.
which is why you don't see them. But
Well, yeah, and then it's 1978, and your Audi 100 needs
yeah,
I don't know what
yeah, yeah,
what would go wrong on them. Needs
yeah,
an ignition coil.
yeah,
Where the hell are you going to get that? I mean,
yeah.
unless you live next to an Audi dealership,
Right,
which is probably looks vaguely like the radio station we just saw.
right.
At least in 1978, what are you going to do? Like,
Yeah.
the car just goes away is what
Well, I
happens.
used to work at a German car parts place, and our bread and butter was 80s and 90s Volkswagen, Audi,
Right.
BMW. And once in a blue moon, you'd run across like a 100 part. Like we had a new old stock taillight for a 100 sedan.
Right.
It just like sat there forever. It probably got thrown out when the shop got closed because,
Who needs that in the United States?
The customer doesn't really exist for that anymore. So,
well, super weird. We've never had one of these in Lemons.
No.
And this one's obviously the nicest one in North America.
Yeah.
But,
So
don't bring this one. But if you find one that's out there, totally
find an abandoned one, swap in the drivetrain from a 95 A4. Put a 1.8 T in that bad boy and get ready to dominate.
That's right. Or a 10 valve 5-cylinder, whatever.
There you go. Yeah. All right, that's pretty cool. Oh, what? It's Austin Marina?
Yeah.
That's not Stellantis, is it? That's British Leyland.
Oh, yeah, it's British Leyland.
I mean, it looks like it would be. My first thought was Hillman, but it's actually an Austin Marina. Now, this looks like a U.S. market car. They actually sold those here?
Yeah, they sold those in very small numbers here. It was a Morris Marina in the UK. They sold it as an Austin here because we didn't have Morris.
Yeah.
It couldn't look more 1970s with the nose treatment, with the gigantic federalized bumper.
Yeah.
The marker lights. I don't understand what is happening with that grill.
Yeah.
Clearly an afterthought. But
I wonder what the motor would have been in something like this.
It was, I believe, the MG motor, or it might have been the BMC 1275. It's either the 1275 or the 1800. I don't know which one.
Right. Yeah, that's the A series or the B series, I think. Yeah. Which makes it objectively worse than a Gremlin, which had the AMC straight 6. So, well, I don't think I've ever seen an Austin Marina driving on the street. So this is a pretty spectacular find. I mean, even though it's not driving, it's complete at least.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
a hell of a thing.
Incredibly rare. I have been in a place where there were 20 Ferrari 250 GTOs at once, and I have never seen one of these. So there you go.
Yeah, we have had one in Lemons. There's some British car enthusiasts in North Carolina dug one up, slapped whatever MG motor they had. And when I say MG motor they had many disparate parts that they made into a motor,
right?
And threw it in it, and it kind of was great. It was like a top 30 car every time it ran. One Class C, one IOE, but that is somebody being run by people who know British cars in and out. If I tried to run this thing, I would like as a normal street car. As a normal British citizen in 1977, I would probably do as Top Gear has done and try to kill every single one of them. So
go outside, drop a piano on it.
Yeah.
All right. Ah, man, somebody living the dream. Well, this generation Camry is famously indestructible.
Yeah.
This-
Man, I have a good story about that, actually. I was in a band for several years of my impressionable age, and at an impressionable age. And our singer, his family had one of these, and it was the purplish color, 4-cylinder.
Yep.
And he drove that thing like he was at Le Mans all the time, just absolutely hammered it. And I don't remember how it came up, but it was like, yeah, I guess I should go get an oil change. And we were like, yeah, when was the last time you did that? And he's like, I don't know. We've had it like 3.5 years. Like, oh man, yeah, go do that. And it turned out it had been like 22,000 miles since they had an oil change. The car just kept running.
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Totally fine.
God, I should check in. I had a friend who had one of these like in high school, and as far as I know, she's still just driving it around. Like they just
keep going.
Yeah. So make fun of it all you will with the flame paint job, but it's probably covered more distance than your high performance car. So
yeah, it's probably covered more distance than all of the cars you've ever owned.
Yeah, right. And as somebody points out in the comments, a low cost GTA Hermes. Don't disagree. All right. Oh man, it's the getaway van. Now, when they say getaway van,
right,
are they referring to a vacation or?
Yeah, who knows? Man, like all of the best jokes, we don't even have to express the joke itself.
Right. Well, and we've talked about this a lot, but there is hashtag van life, which means you need $150,000 Sprinter and independent wealth to where you can just like sort of travel the world and blog. And then you've got this form of van life, which in a lot of ways is more interesting. I mean, there are more people chasing you. There are more things that can befall you that are dangerous.
It's certainly harder to blend in when you're getting away.
Yeah, there's certainly more drugs. So, if more owners of getaway vans had Instagram accounts, I'd be more likely to follow those than any of the Sprinter ones. I'm just saying.
Yeah, man, that's really good. This is that. It's got to be what, like it looks like an 81. So
yeah,
it's probably like 96. Yeah. Yeah. So it was that weird era of custom vanning.
Yeah.
Where, there's vents built in, I assume, for generators, or, maybe the doo-doo closet is there. I don't know. But there's portholes in the roof for a sunroof, I guess, or maybe just a vent. It's all like everything's there. It's just not good. Not good at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're getting to the point where we can really divide van life into 3 maybe distinct eras. You had the original one where it was a bunch of dudes in short shorts traveling the world looking for new versions of the clap,
right?
Their shag carpet. Then you had this era, and I'm not really sure, maybe more geared towards retired folks, maybe. Although now it's just like cheap, Burning Man to an extent types, and and then the third version is the Instagram Sprinter culture, which is interesting because all 3 of those are very distinctly different from one another.
Right. Yeah, man, this is like the 1990s family beating the system.
Right.
Don't have to camp. Don't have to stop at the Days Inn.
Right.
Whatever. There you go.
Yep. Beating the system.
Getting away.
All right. Oh boy, there's stuff happening. Now, here's a challenge. How much can we tell by the little thumbnail version?
Yeah.
The answer is not much.
Not enough. Well, it's so dark. Everything's black on.
All right. I can't even. I was gonna guess. either Evo or Mazda 3 with a bunch of stuff on it. All right, let's find out what's happening.
I was about to say Mazda 3 that wants to be an Evo, and I think I'm right.
I think you're right. I think you're 100% right. Although what's interesting is little triangle things that I thought were some kind of a styling accoutrement was actually like a reflection, I think.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I thought those were spikes. Could be awesome. I love that the trunk badge. The only badge on the car is crooked.
Yeah.
The that kind of sums it up.
Yeah.
Is there a fender flare on the front?
There's something going on with the front that at a minimum like makes the front shape of the fender square, which I don't think is doing the design of the Mazda 3 any favors.
Yeah.
And then
they have
full body kit.
Yep, the Lemons grade Home Depot body kit.
Yeah, the sides I was gonna say definitely rain gutter material.
Yep.
The wing has wings on it, which is always good.
Oh, I didn't even see that. There's a lot of background happening, but multiple elements, I believe they call that in Formula One.
Downforce elements.
Yeah, vortex generators. There we go. Let's just use all of our F1 terminology.
Right, exactly. Canards and vortex generators.
Yep.
This is from, let's say, Des Nuts Racing, since there's it's DEZ. And then in the comments, Brian Mazda Speed 3 says, I guess I got to step my Mazda game up. Well, as a fellow Mazda 3 owner, I'd put myself in that category as well. But now I know what I can strive to.
Yeah, I mean, this is really pinnacle Mazda 3 ownership.
Yeah. Well, it's rarely seen on a Mazda 3 because the Venn diagram of Mazda 3 owners and people who would do this doesn't have a lot of intersection. Now, if you buy a Mitsubishi Lancer, the intersection just starts to
it's overlapping circles.
Yeah, which is why it's fairly rare to have a Mitsubishi mentality but a Mazda reality. So all right,
I think we just heard the name of your debut album.
Mitsubishi mentality, Mazda reality. All right. It's a Murano with proud Nissan graphics on the side.
You know, well, first of all, the reflection in the hood is a nice, nice capture. I'll give credit to Volvo Clearinghouse, by the way. Great name. The more I'm looking at this, the more I think that is made entirely out of Sharpie, but I can't be certain.
It's possible.
The way the S's look drastically different.
Yeah, you're right. The spacing,
at least hand drawn.
The kerning and whatnot is not standardized. Yeah. Oh boy.
So that begs the question then: is it self-aware tuning under the belt line here?
So I served on a jury once upon a time, and you wind up sort of like you don't want to really get to know the fellow jurors, so you wind up having the same small talk over and over again. And there was one guy in there who was just like always would reference his Nissan Murano, and it was like, yeah, well, I got this Nissan Murano and it's really a pretty good little car. And he's the only guy I've ever met who was even aware he owned a Murano. I think most Murano owners are like, and then I got in the car and I went someplace. Well, what kind of car was it? It's my car. Like they have no clue. Because otherwise, how else would you find yourself buying a Murano? Like the only way is to be like, my brother gave me car and I don't know what it is. Because nobody would consciously do it.
I went to the dealership and I bought me a car.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
So this dude that was on the jury with me, he was the only guy who was aware he had a Murano, the only guy that was proud of owning a Murano, and this is the only Murano that displays such pride. So maybe this is the guy that I was on the jury.
Yeah, it's gotta be. Yeah, man.
Because how many other people can fall into that category? All right. Yeah. Oh, man. It's hashtag Murano Mafia. Is that a thing? Oh, man. I'm scared to look. I hope so.
Somebody else look and tell us in the comments.
Tell us in the comments what's happening in the Murano mafia zone. All right, penultimate car. It's an Impala.
It's an Impala in Finland, which is
okay. That makes it sort of interesting.
Yeah. Weird. I mean, I know there are some Scandinavia does buy some American cars, but an Impala, like a 2000 Impala, not what I would expect.
Yeah, if you are a Scandinavian person or a person living in Scandinavia, tell us what the deal is with all of a sudden somebody shows up in a mid-size American car, because boy, if I were there, I would be real tempted to buy a Volvo and not an Impala. But I don't know, maybe this guy's beating the system.
Yeah, this is definitely beating the system, or the Chevy dealership was like, we can't sell these, so come buy one for half price, basically.
Right.
Because I got to import a car that's sold in America for too much money, which was like $35,000 in 2000, or maybe it was a little less than that, but whatever. It must have been like a $50,000 car in Finland.
Yeah.
Which would have bought you a BMW 3 Series.
A really nice European car. Yeah.
Mystifying, but there it is.
Very interesting. That would be fun, actually, as a sub-genre of Lemon's car spotting, is the fish out of water, where like it's a relatively normal thing, but in a place you wouldn't expect. What's our hashtag going to be for that? How about just Lemon's fish out of water?
Yeah. Out of place lemons. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. We'll because that would be interesting to see, because I've mentioned it before on this channel. My last my second to last international trip, I was in Tokyo, and there was a wood panel Cutlass Sierra wagon just driving down the street in Tokyo. If you stumble across stuff like that, we'd like to see it. All right. Next up. Oh, man. God, back to Nissan life. Well, now we've seen various forms of, the Joad family heads west aesthetic. And, we have to be a little bit sensitive to the people's situations in life. And, we don't want to put anyone down for their socioeconomic position. However, I've known a lot of broke ass people, and they don't all do this.
I can't even tell what is on or in this machine. Like it's
true. Like normally it'll be some like, oh, that's a recognizable, like I forget that LeBaron that we had a couple of weeks ago was like, okay, well, that's a cabinet and that's a chair.
Yeah, that person was moving. This person,
this is like detritus.
It's like if you've seen the scrapper Ford Rangers with the homemade metal cage where they stack the stuff. It's like that, but with expert level toe straps, basically holding. Well,
maybe that's what it is. Like, scrap metal dealers will often have kind of a beat up old truck, and then with a bunch of stuff stacked in it. Maybe this person was like, "Who needs a truck when you've got a first gen Altima?"
I mean, this is yet another example of beating the system by not owning a pickup truck and driving an efficient car.
Exactly. Well,
I gotta say the tallest thing on the roof looks like it's like a lathe that is strapped to it. It is some kind of shop machinery.
Like a parts cleaner or something.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah. Interesting.
I'm not even mad. I'm impressed.
I will say, by Altima standards, which is not high, I think the first gen might be the best one. Corrected for certainly corrected for its competition.
Right.
Because right now the Altima is like so incredibly worse than every other car of its type that you can get. Yeah. Back then, I feel like this thing stacked up okay.
Yeah, it was almost as good as an Accord, probably.
Yeah. I think it was slightly smaller. Like they didn't quite. They weren't going really head to head with an Accord, but it was bigger than a Sentra. I think it had that truck motor, like a KA motor in it, which is a fine engine for getting around. So yeah, nothing wrong with this generation Altima. Much wrong with current generation Altima. So.
Well, yeah, man, picking the hooptiest out of this, I mean, there's this.
There sure is.
But I mean, as is famously touted in some corners of the internet, it's a Nissan Altima. They don't have anything to lose. This is almost expected out of your typical Altima owner. I'm going to go with the incredible abandoned scene towards the beginning. The Aerostar at the radio station.
It's
bygone era.
Yeah, no, I mean it's not only a hoopty car; it's a hoopty slice of life.
Yeah, this is. I mean, this is. I can picture this scene where it is. I've never been to Athens, Ohio, but this is a median between it and a divided 4-lane road. And this radio station is out in the middle of nowhere because that's where they could build their big antenna.
Yep.
And then they built this 2 little cinder block brick buildings that they joined, and it's sat there and people drive past it every day and ignore it. And it's been like that for 10 years. So that's Ohio in my experience.
That is. I mean, it's essentially like maybe the whole state is exactly what you just described.
As somebody who will be driving through most of it tomorrow, I can attest as an eyewitness that this is what it looks like.
Some offense to all of our fans in Ohio.
I enjoy Ohio. It's just that a lot of it looks like the Rust Belt because it is. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, for the Lemons build, I think, as Eric mentioned, we largely do not care about why you ruin classic, but this thing is so nice. It would be a shame to see it get banged up in a Lemons race. So I think, like Eric said, bring an Audi 100 to a Lemons race, but don't bring this one. So I don't think I can really pick it as my real build. Practically, I feel like the Camry or the Mazda 3 are maybe the best choices, or even the Altima for that matter. Yeah. And boy, if you're going to run the Altima, you got to keep it as is. Yeah. Boy, am I changing my vote? I'm changing my vote. I was going to pick the Austin Marina, and then that was a slam dunk until Eric reminded me we had already had one. If it was going to be the first Austin Marina, then I was going to pick it. And certainly, don't let me discourage you from going out and getting an Austin Marina. But this week, the Lemons build will be the first-gen Altima with all the stuff on it. And this is something you don't need to bring this exact car, obviously, but it is a very easily replicatable theme. All we'll care about in tech is some assurance that the stuff isn't going to just come flying completely off. Run some lag bolts through all that stuff and you'll be good. And then, just imagine that, dicing it up in turn 6. It would be a hell of a thing.
Yeah, I mean, the way to do that theme is to remove all of the body panels from it, cover them in salt, run them over, leave them outside for a few weeks, and then kind of bang them back into shape.
Put them back on.
Back on. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Well, and you can hide your ultra cheaty lowered coilover suspension by saying, no, it's just, it's all the stuff in the back.
Great.
So, that's a loophole.
That's beating the system, as this car is doing currently. It's totally on brand. There you go.
Well, if you want to beat the system, come to a Lemons race and show us how brilliant you are with your tactics that are outside the norm. But before you do that, post Lemons Car Spotting on Instagram. We will find it. We'll talk about it on this channel. Thank you for watching. Yep. And it wouldn't be, you know, mechanically, it would not be a bad Lemons car. So it really is beating the system.
Scrap driving scrap.